Hello, I'm Shawn Counsel of the Counsel Law Firm here in North Texas, and I want to take a minute to speak with you about an interesting topic that's emerging in regards to gun trusts, or NFA trusts as they're called, and how those trusts can help you acquire certain types of firearms and accessories that are otherwise a little bit more difficult to obtain. Where gun trusts are involved are NFA, or National Firearms Act, regulated items, Title II or Class III firearms, which include machine guns, short-barreled rifles, short-barreled shotguns, destructive devices, and any other weapons, as well as suppressors, which in some states, including Texas, you can hunt now certain types of wild game and then large game with a suppressor. So it's actually becoming more and more mainstream. But anyway, specifically what I wanted to address was sort of just how the gun trust can help you acquire those Title II Class III firearms. When an individual wants to obtain an NFA regulated firearm, they have to submit what's called either a Form 1 or a Form 4 to the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives. But along with that, they have to also submit an FBI fingerprint card, a photograph of themselves, as well as the signature or authorization of the area chief law enforcement officer. A lot of places, depending on where you live, it's kind of hard to get the chief of police to sign off on you obtaining a machine gun. A lot of them just don't want that in their area, regardless of whether you're a responsible user or citizen, whatever the reason, they just won't do it. So that's one of the values of a gun trust, is that the trust purchases the firearm. Trusts don't have fingerprints, they don't have photographs, and they don't require the authorization of the chief local law enforcement officer. So on a Form 1 or Form 4, the trust is actually the registered purchaser, and it speeds up the process because you're not submitting fingerprint cards, you're not submitting the photograph, and the FBI is not doing a background check on a trust. So the idea is the individual sets up a NFA trust, and then the trust purchases all of the Title II or Class III firearms. This would include a suppressor as well. The other benefits to owning these items in a trust is the ability for multiple users. If you purchase an NFA regulated item as an individual, you are the only one who can legally use or possess that item. Whereas if a trust owns it, you can list as many trustees as you want. And each trustee actually has the right to possess and use and care for that item as they wish. So it's a good way to list, say, friends and family. If your kids want to be able to use the same items that you have, a trust is a good way to do that. The other perk is, there are no filing fees for an NFA trust. You simply establish it, and there's no filing fee to do so, or annual recording or filing fee. The other benefits of it are simply protections as well. You don't actually own the gun. The trust owns the gun. So if something were to happen to it, it might shield you from some liability there, as well as protect you from future gun laws. The reality is we live in a very political society. Things change all the time. Lawmakers are currently, always making laws. That's what they're getting paid to do. And with, shootings and events that happen, the public opinion of certain firearms changes. So the reality is holding a firearm within a trust may protect you from future changes in the law should the transfer of an NFA regulated firearm become prohibited. You may still be able to transfer ownership of the trust to other individuals, hence transferring the items in the trust to other individuals. But since the trust owns the firearms, there hasn't actually been a transfer of the firearms to another individual. And it may help you be able to still be transferring things in the future should that become prohibited. The other good thing is that these trusts are flexible. So if your personal situation changes, you want to add individuals, you want to take them away, you can do that with an amendment as well. So it's really a versatile way, a more private way to own, firearms in general. On your death, trusts, property, pass, outside the probate estate. So you won't have court intervention or an inventory of the assets, if you will, and people trying to fight over the property. All of that is listed in the trust document and something you don't have to worry about. So if you're interested in obtaining, NFA Class 3 items, a trust is definitely a good way to go about doing that, and something I would suggest doing. So if you have any questions, feel free to give me a call. Our number's on the screen, and I appreciate you watching, so I hope to hear from you soon. Thanks.